transitions. Now, another kind of state is a blend tree. And blend trees are kind of like transitions. You're moving among different states, but unlike the transition between states, a blend tree kind of combines two different states with different weights. And so where the transitions move from one state to another, a blend tree allows multiple animations to be blended together by some weighted average. So it combines different animations together. An example might be a walk to run. Instead of transitioning abruptly from walk to run, you would use a blend tree to gradually transition from walking to running as your speed or whatever it is increases. And of course, in order for this to make sense, the animations have to be aligned properly so that the movements make sense. You want the feet to hit the ground at the same time in the different animations. The animations use something called normalized time, so usually this works out pretty well. With a blend tree, you need to create a new blend tree, just like we created an empty state. And a blend tree will then look like a little square, but when you click on it, it will expand out to show the different states that you're blending with the blend tree, as well as the parameter that you're using to control that. With the empty blend tree, when we first make it, it has no states. We have to add the different animations that we want it to blend among. And blending comes in a number of different flavors. We have 1D blending, 2D blending, and there are some other options. I'll talk about 1D blending in here. 1D blending blends the motion according to a single parameter. 2D blends with two parameters. So you could have like X and Y or forward or side motion with a 2D blending tree. Now, so we need to select a parameter that's going to control it. In this example, we'll use direction. Direction is going to be our horizontal axis that goes from -1 to the left to +1 to the right, with 0 denoting straight ahead running without leaning. And I have 3 animations. I have a run left, a run right, and a run straight forward. And this is what the blend tree looks like once you've set this up. We've added these motions and they have various thresholds, and they have this little triangle diagram that shows the various weights that blend between these, among these different animations. Let me get into the right scene for this. This is scene turn. So our character now has a different controller, the run turn controller. Run turn controller. So here the run now is a blend tree, and I can switch back to the base layer here. This is the base layer. Clicking on the blend tree shows me my blend. I have over here the clicking on the blend tree shows the parameter that I'm using, the direction, and the run left and run right and run forward with the various thresholds here. And I can preview what this is going to look like. I don't know why his head's cut off there. And I can actually move this around, and you can see the animation change as it runs to the left and runs to the right. It's blending between those 3 animations as I move around. I can also see this over here. Let me run here. Whoops, I want to minimize. So if we watch our character, if I look back at the base layer, he's in the idle function. If I start to run, it moves into the run animation. The state diagram here for run, as I turn, that direction goes to the left. As I turn, that direction goes to the right. And you can actually see which state is weighted by the little changing colors there as of the different animations. So let's look at that script here. We have these little triangles. These are the value of these are the thresholds. Nominally, they're all ones. There are a bunch of settings here. We can automate the thresholds. If we have, for instance, say, a motion where the parameter went from -90 to +90, and we had 5 different motions, pressing automate will set the thresholds to be at -90, -45, 0, +45, and 90. It automatically sets up the range to be even. You can also set them yourself. The compute thresholds also triggers on various parameters: speed, velocity, x, y, and z, angular speed, either in radians or degrees. And this could be used with different animations that cover different speed. Our animations here are now going to actually control the root motion of our character. Some of the old animations don't do this, but the more modern ones do. Triggering, computing on speed is going to set it so that at a value of 3, it's going to be blended about halfway in between walking and running. More advanced stuff. Okay, so here's the script that sets the direction. We're still using speed to control our movement forward with h² + v², but now I'm setting the direction parameter with just the h, and I'm also adding this third argument, direction damp time, which is a parameter, a tuning parameter here. Direction damp time and the time delta time. This is going to blend. This is going to not just set the parameter abruptly, but it's going to go gradually to the value of the parameter over some amount of time that you control with this direction damping time. So the parameter doesn't change abruptly. It can change more smoothly as we go. So that's all there is to setting up our character to now run left and right. We run straight forward. We run to the left, we run to the right. It's blending those different animations as we go here. Quite cool and very simple. The state diagram is still this very simple idle and run. Run is now a blend tree that blends between 3 different animations, and away we go. As I mentioned, you can go directly to the value speed, or you can interpolate gradually over a specified time interval, controllable by a parameter. Animation layers let us control different parts of our character at the same time. For instance, you might have the character walking, running, jumping at the same time that you want to have an arm throw something. And we can do this by adding layers to our system. Let me get to the next one. I think I'm going to go to wave here. So with wave, uh, we now have uh, layers. Here's the layers over here. We have a base layer and an arm layer. And these are two different state diagrams. This is going to control the whole body. The arm layer is going to control, here's a trick, pressing the A key focuses your state diagram so that it all fits in the window. This is our arm that's going to transition to a wave. I'm going to wave my hand. Here it gets a little more complicated. Also, we have to have a mask that specifies which part of the body is used. The mask is something we build. Where's a mask? Here's a body mask for the right arm that looks like, where's the mask? Here's the mask. So we're picking the arm that we want to have this mask control. And this is something that you create just like any other object. So when we have this mask, we can now add in our animator. We can, first of all, check to see that we have two layers. If the animator layer count is greater than or equal to 2, then we can set a weight for those animators. And in our update function, we can now have a wave button. If we press the Fire 2 button and the animator's layer count is greater than 2, then we can set a Boolean high by toggling the get Boolean. We can also get parameters back from our animator, just like we can set parameters, we can get parameters. So here I'm just toggling the Boolean animator high with this bool. The rest is exactly the same. And so now when I press, I believe it's the control here, press the Fire 2 button, he now waves. And that state is true, so he's going to continue to go through the wave function, which has a default transition in and out as it plays the whole animation. And of course, as we're running, we can still wave and turning and wave, and it continues to wave as we run. These animations are on separate layers and are controlled that way. Okay, so I want to add a jump condition. The jump condition will add another state that has a jump animation. We can only enter the jump if we're already in the run, so it transitions out of the run, not out of the idle. And in my script, all I have to do is add a Boolean. If we're in the run, then when the jump button is pressed, then we set the jump button, we set the jump Boolean to be true, otherwise we set it to be false. So now we're in the run, turn, jump scene. Our character now has the run, jump controller. The run, jump controller, I have to get in the correct layer here. So now I have a jump. It triggers on the bool jump parameter, and let's play this. The space bar is the jump trigger. So here we are in the idle animation. Pressing jump doesn't do anything because we're in the idle, but as I'm running, if I press the jump, you watch the jump Boolean turns to true. and my little character does this nice little jump. The transition here is all tuned up. Here in the transition, I've kind of matched things together. It takes some fiddling to get these animations to transition without step hiccups. It's a lot of fiddling to get things right. But of course, once you do, it looks great.